Here's a video I know you've all been waiting for. Which wall plugs to use on plasterboard walls? Let's show you the options. First up are these multi-size plug ones. They come with a depth gauge to make sure you're using the right length plug. Simply drill your hole. For these, use a 7mm drill bit and pop the gauge in and try to hook it on the back of the plasterboard. Push the slider down and this will give you the depth plug you'll need. You want to make sure the legs of the plug can open out. So this is the one I need for my 15mm plasterboard. Once in the hole, you can see the legs can open. So once the screw is in, they open out and grip the back of the plasterboard, holding your item in place. Your screw needs to be at least 4.5mm wide and longer than the thickness of whatever you're screwing into the wall, plus at least 3/4 of the length of the plug. Next up, these Plug heavy duty fixings. They can hold around 10 kilos per plug, so if you're using 4, that's 40 kilos it can hold. For these, you'll need a 10mm drill bit and at least 4.5mm wide screws. Again, this has wings that open up behind the plasterboard to secure it in place. When the screw is tightened, the wings can press down and open out to provide a wider grip behind, allowing you to hang heavier items than the plug before. Next, these Fisher metal wall anchors. For these, you'll usually need an 8mm drill bit and a setting tool. The length balloons out behind the plasterboard to grip the back. These are fairly heavy duty too, at around 15 kilos per anchor. These are great for shelves, TVs, units and heavy mirrors when the load is shared between multiple anchors. Once in the hole, hammer it in and grab your setting tool. Make sure the crease of where the plug balloons out is the correct length for your wall thickness. Too short and it will expand inside the wall instead of behind it. Slide the setting tool behind the head of the bolt and pull the trigger until it stops. You can then remove the bolt, add your item and screw it back in again. Next, my favourite for TVs, Fix-Its. They come in a range of sizes, but the blue ones are for TVs and they can hold up to 115 kilos per fixing. The hole for these will always cause you a bit of a panic, but try not to worry. You'll need a flat wood drill bit for these. Give the Fix-It a tap with a hammer and grab a flathead screwdriver. Push in and turn the middle of the plug so the wings open out behind the plasterboard. Then you can add your item to your screw and screw it in. Next, you've got the self-drilling plastic or metal anchors. I'm not really a fan of these personally, but they are the easiest to install. These can hold around 20 kilos each. All you need is a Phillips screwdriver and just twist it directly into the wall. They don't expand behind, but they grip pretty well. Just don't take them out again and re-screw them, as it won't have the same hold as before. Another of my least favourite is these spring toggle wall fixings. They're really faffy, but they can hold around 10 kilos each. These require an 8 to 10mm drill bit and need to be fed through whatever you're mounting onto the wall before you put it in the wall, as you won't be able to undo them once the toggle is behind the wall. Once you remove your item, the toggle will be lost behind the plasterboard, so make sure you drill the hole in the right place. Next up is these Plug super toggle plugs, which adjust to different wall thicknesses from 10 to 15mm. They require a 10mm drill bit and a minimum of 4.5mm thick screws. They're fairly heavy duty, so will be fine for shelves, bathroom cabinets, etc. Again, once they're in the wall, the black wings will expand to spread the load behind a larger surface area. Now, just to show you, these are not plasterboard fixings. These are the type you usually get in a pack with your wall-mounted items. These are more suitable for solid walls or very, very light items like a clock or a picture frame. As you can see, it expands, but it doesn't open out, so it's not a very good option at all. It will fall out the wall if you put something too heavy on there. Finally, we have these Gfix fixings. They have 3 parts, the wings, the plug and a cord. You want to thread the red cord through the wing and through the plug. These require a large hole, so you'll need a flat wood drill bit again, like the Grippets. You need to put the wings through this large hole, holding onto the cord tight. It will grab the back of the plasterboard, and as you can see, it's a very large surface area, so you want to make sure that what you're mounting doesn't have screws too close together. Slide the plug part down the cord and into the hole, still holding onto the cord. The teeth on the back of the wing will grip the back of the plasterboard, securing it in place. Holding the cord tight still, screw in your item. This will lock the 2 plastic parts together so you can remove the cord. Ignore the fact it's hanging off here, the hole was too close to the edge of this offcut. But as you can see, plasterboard fixings all have one thing in common. They spread out to grip the back of the wall and spread the load over a wider surface area. This makes them hard to pull out the wall and very, very strong in order to mount things. As always, make sure you're following for more beginner-friendly DIY tips and tricks.